Computer. Hey everybody, it's your girl Anahita, and welcome back for another episode of Hitatalk. And I totally am running with the whole Wonder Woman of the Twin Cities, because why wouldn't I? And as you know, and if you don't know, you should go back and watch the last few episodes. Season 4 is all about the Mom Squad, locally and abroad, and this is the perfect opportunity to introduce what I'm talking about with the lovely Aisha Branch. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I feel like this whole thing is just selfishly like my gal pals that I just adore. But you are such a sweetheart. You and your family are beautiful. You guys are doing amazing, fun, adventurous things. But we're going to talk a little bit about you, work, and whoever else, whatever else we bring up. So
Good.
before we talk about like your art and the illustrations and your studio, let's talk about little Aisha. Let's go back to like back in the day, but not like so far ago. What were you like? What was your upbringing like? What's your background with like where you were born or raised? Tell me those fun things.
Yeah, so you know this about me, but I am a daughter of an immigrant. I'm Persian American. My dad is Iranian. So I would say my upbringing was a little different than the typical American upbringing. We had our certain traditions, like prayer 5 times a day, drinking tea at 4 p.m. every day, just small things that as you grow older, you realize that's different than a lot of people. But I had a great childhood. My mom and dad weren't together, but they were heavily involved in my life. So I feel like I never really missed out on either of them. But I was very spunky. I've always been very spunky and outgoing, very creative in the mind. I feel like I have a wandering imagination to this day. And sometimes I feel like I have to reel myself in. But yes.
That's the beauty of the creative world. I mean, you and I can relate on the Persian stuff, the creative stuff. I get it.
Yeah. I would say growing up in America as a woman of color or as a daughter of an immigrant where your traditions are a little different, I think over time I've come to really appreciate the things that were different about me. When growing up, maybe I tried to conform or fit in a little more. Mm-hmm. So it's looking back, I wish I would have appreciated a little bit more, but it's all part of growing up.
Oh, I could write a whole entire saga about that.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
So we grew up in the Champlin, Brooklyn Park area, so northwest of the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And your parents were close by, so you saw them frequently?
Yeah, just 7 minutes apart. So we went back and forth.
Oh my gosh, how sweet of them to just make sure, everything was try to be as normal as possible, but have like drastically different households, right? Persian American. So do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one sister. She's 1 year older than me. So we're very close, and people used to think we were twins, but we're like oil and water. We're very different.
Immiscible, but yet so different.
Yeah.
Or different, but yet you're sisters. So
yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So when we connected just through the circle of girlfriends and moms and creatives and stuff like that, I was like, wait a minute, another Persian gal. Like, how did I not know you sooner? Because I was 2 when we moved here from Iran. I was born there, grew up in Woodbury, very much so like trying to fit in everywhere. And then at 33, 34, I was like, oh, maybe I should embrace the differences, right?
Yeah, so exactly what happened to me. Like, I felt like I was conforming to be like all of, my neighbors and friends, but I always felt like kind of like the black sheep, and so I was like, I just feel so different, and like what I'm doing on a Saturday is so different than my friends, at least when I was really young. And now I'm like, oh, I wish I would have embraced it a little bit more.
I wish I would have embraced it a little bit more too. So let's talk about your current family, like your household and your like intimate like loves of your life right now. Who do you got in your little fam bam?
So yeah, I'm married to my lovely husband, and he is a producer. So he's a music man, and he keeps me dancing. And we have a 2-year-old little boy named Wade. Yeah, he just turned 2 a couple months ago, so that's my sweet little fam.
Oh my gosh, and so beautiful. And I was talking to your sister-in-law, Gina. She was a guest. She's also on the Mom Squad because why wouldn't she be? So you guys are basically like your husbands are brothers.
No, so she is my husband's sister.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
She is your husband's sister. Oh, I had it
Yeah.
wrong the whole time. Yeah, look at that. Sister-in-law,
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But we were talking about you, and I was like, I'm so excited to talk to Gina or to talk to Aisha. She was like, yeah, we love Aisha. And I'm like, yeah, so just add me in the family.
Yeah.
But it's so like just the synergy of all the things. Like when you and I connected, I was like, okay, this is a gal I need to be BFFs with. Like I just was so drawn to you because my husband is also in the music industry. He's from
Yes.
Detroit, right?
Commonalities. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. And then you and Gina have a very, very similar, but you do different work in the creative and art, in the art field. So speaking about like the creative and the art field, what is it like being in a household with a music man and then you are in all sorts of beautiful creations?
It's actually really fun. I feel like we always joke that like we go against the grain of the world, and I feel like anyone who really hears about what we're thinking about and dreaming about on a daily basis, we always think we're crazy. But I think my husband's really taught me to like dream big. Like I feel like I've always dreamed really big, but like as you probably can relate, certain culture and traditions, they want you to go a certain path, and I feel like I went down the path of like trying to conform to what other people wanted. My husband has never been like that. So it's been really fun for him and I to kind of dream together and think big and constantly be creating and reiterating and evolving. It's fun. It definitely doesn't get boring.
Okay, so little Wade, who's got creative mommy, super creative mommy and daddy, really. What is he like as a 2-year-old in your world?
He is spunky, probably what you would imagine a little 2-year-old boy to be, jumping off walls, but he loves music like his dad. It's crazy how much he just like is attracted to music. He specifically really loves the piano and drums. But he also loves to like build and use his hands. So I'm like, and in a way it's like me and his dad, like using hands. And so it's just kind of cool to see like what he's attracted to, how he's using his gifts, even at 2. So it's been fun to see.
I bet he's coming too. Like his creativity and his imagination is really just kind of kicking off in the last couple of months or probably right now even.
Yeah, just this morning he went to grab a coloring book and he was just drawing and wanting me to see what he was drawing. And I just think it's so fun to see just him evolve. It's not like I give him a pen and paper all the time, but he just naturally is drawn to certain things, and I just find it so fascinating.
So does he see you doing the work that you do often, or is that different?
So a lot of times I get to do my creative work when he goes to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So just because I do work a full-time job, so it's like job, mommy, Aisha, so
Yeah.
at night I tend to work more, but he does see me sometimes, and he sees me dribbling on my iPad or with paint. Especially,
What?
I paint a lot, so he gets to see me paint a lot, and he likes to like kind of play with the tubes of paint while I'm painting. It's kind of my way of keeping him out of trouble.
Yeah. Let's integrate your childhood upbringing with your current lifestyle, with your little cute little fam bam. Like, what is the relationship with like your dad and little Wade like? Do you find a lot of Persian traditions bleeding into your household because you grew up, going back and forth with different households, or is it like, what is that like?
Yeah. I think being so young, we kind of just aren't, I don't know, we're kind of just like letting it naturally flow. I would say like I can't pinpoint anything specifically that like I'm trying to embed him with the Iranian culture outside of the music. And I read a lot about Persian history and art history. And so I think he sees me kind of doing those things, but also I stay connected with my family in Iran via Zoom. So he gets that relationship. But other than that, we're just trying to organically let him to like see his curiosity with it. We're just I'm not trying to force anything on it. I'm just trying to let him, see and flow what attracts him.
Does your dad teach him Farsi, or do you guys speak Farsi to him?
So right now, my dad and I don't have a relationship.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Yeah.
that. Well,
So
that's the reality of it.
yeah. So unfortunately, that's been hard because of course I want him to teach him Farsi and all the wonderful things that I cannot, sharing about my grandma or his upbringing in Iran. Um, but luckily, my cousins in Iran are helping me learn Farsi. And so it is on my to-do list to teach him Farsi in some capacity, as well as myself. So,
Yeah. Well, you know what? Kids are resilient and they learn stuff at any point. And sometimes I think the pressure is on us to try to, we want them to fulfill this check or check this box off. Um, Raya's almost 5. And I don't speak the language so much in our house,
yeah.
but I sprinkle it in. I'm teaching my husband a few words here and there. So if he picks it up, she picks it up. And sometimes they learn something in Spanish because they watch Dora. And then I'm like, oh, I'll tell you the Farsi version of that.
Yeah,
So
I love that. That's such a good idea.
it's fun. Okay, so Lil Wade is in like the thick of your creative artwork and daddy. He's just being immersed to it all. But let's talk about your creative work.
Sure.
How did you get, okay, first of all, let's just talk about what line of creative work that you're doing. And is that your full time?
Okay, so no, it is not my full time to answer. I'm in marketing outside of my creative. So I work 9 to 5 at a startup, and I'm a marketing manager there. So I've been in marketing for 5 years now. Before that, I was in actually merchandising and buying.
Oh, I
So
didn't know any of this. Where were you merchandising and buying?
at Target Corporation. So
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What years were you there? Hold the horse here.
I was there 2013 to 2000 and late 2017. So almost 5 years.
We just missed each other by probably, well, no, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked in their apparel and accessories area, and I owned a lot of their core apparel and t-shirting. So yeah, it was fun. I think I just found a love for marketing
Mhm.
because it kind of allowed you to be more like use your creative juices while thinking strategically and with a business focus. It was just different. It was fun. It was another way for me to be creative in my everyday work.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you have your current 9 to 5 in the marketing field. When and how did you start doing your own amazing artwork? It's so beautiful.
Thanks. So I've always, since I was a little girl, have been into design and fashion. I would say, if everyone knows me, that was always my dream growing up. Obviously, from what you've heard, you kind of take different paths as you grow up. And when I was at Target and I was working for someone else doing and creating and planning all these beautiful lines of apparel, it started inspiring me again to be like, I want to do this for myself. I have my own visions of what I want. And like, I want to use my hands again because, you're sitting by a computer all day long and it's like you start realizing like I think I'm meant for more. And so I just started dabbling a little bit in creating and designing and illustrating again, and now it's kind of bloomed into being a full service studio of textile and apparel design to illustration and artwork for for the home. So it's like I don't know, I'm just kind of like taking it day by day and seeing where it goes.
Coming up with more beautiful, crazy ideas that are going to evolve into something even more magical, because one thing kind of like leads into the other. Do you ever feel like that?
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel. I feel like I used to think like they can't coexist. Like either I have to be like a print and pattern designer or I have to be an illustrator. And now I'm realizing like no, I can really do it all and it can all weave together. I can design a pillow and I can design the artwork that goes above it, kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. I just got this really cute puzzle for Roya. It's got you know, the different skin tone like characters on there.
Yeah.
And I was reading the story of the organization in DC that creates this. And they did the same thing. They took the print on the puzzle and they put it on a t-shirt. And I think they're adding one that's brand new. They've only been around for a year or two. They're trying to add that same print. They only have 4 styles on different things. And I think there's such a crossover, especially, well, kids, when you're proud of something, you want to wear it and sport it. And then like Gina, she's got some artwork up here, and yours is in my room. But I want to like flaunt it. Like, oh no, I have your shirt, and then I have like, there's a mug. It's like, you would just want to sport it all. And then the different ways that you can demonstrate, I think it's so versatile.
Yeah, I'm super excited about kind of where I'm going in 2021. So a lot of the things you've seen from me is, you know, shirting and mugs, and that will still be there, but I'm definitely expanding more into like original artwork, and I'm going to be introducing some new home decor items that I haven't before. So I'm really excited for what's in store this year.
Well, we are going to be standing by.
Yeah, and I'm focusing on having it be Persian inspired. So
Okay, yes, give me all the things. You
yeah.
have the cutest print. I think it was a print you made, and I was like, can this go on a shirt? And then you literally threw it on.
Yes, I did that for you because I love you.
But have you sold a couple of them?
Yes, it's actually been very popular, so thank you.
Yeah, of course. I was like, you guys, she has this gorgeous like Persian inspired female with a head wrap or a hijab, and then at the bottom in Farsi it says Zibai, which is you're beautiful. And accidentally got the wrong size, and you were so sweet to send me the correct one. But Roya, I couldn't give it an extra small away. I don't know anyone in an extra small. So Roya is wearing it, and she's so proud of it, Aisha. I'm like, yes, that's Aisha's work right there. So I'm glad other people can love that. But it's so fun to share it, isn't it?
Yes, it's so fun, and you know, I think a lot of people were attracted to that piece because I think sometimes the Middle Eastern woman is not represented as much, and you know, so I think we have work to do there, and you and me together make a difference. So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on pieces like that, and I'm excited to release some things this year.
Happy to model anytime. Happy to click share. Happy to buy. I mean, all the things. I'm so right there with you, girlfriend.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So you were talking about embracing your multicultural upbringing now, and it's so amazing how it's like being evidently like brought to life in your creative work.
Yeah.
But it was a little confusing when we were teenagers, right? I mean, it's already a confusing time when we're like 15, 16, 17 years old, let alone like, where do we fit in kind of a thing.
Yes.
The person that you are today and the knowledge that you have and the confidence that you have, what would you go back and tell your 16-year-old self?
Oh, I would say so much. No,
So
but
many things I would tell her.
I would say probably stop people pleasing, and also don't give up on your dreams because they are there for a reason. And also, I think I would say, you know, if I could just look myself in the eye, 16, I would say, you are worthy and you have what it takes to walk the path that is unique to you, that no one else will walk and no one else will be able, you know, it's not for anyone else. So I probably would stare myself in the eyes and say that.
I felt it. You're telling me, and I felt it.
Be who you are uniquely and embrace all the uniqueness about you. That's what I would tell myself.
I think that is so evident to be able to tell a fellow adult woman, and then a reflection of ourselves in the mirror, let alone someone that's 16 and impressionable and confused and
Yeah.
what's happening. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, and I try to share that a lot on, you know, social media or some of the artwork I do, some of the encouraging words, because it runs so deep. I'm just like, I just want everybody to know they're beautiful and they're worthy, and especially the confused young girls and boys where it's like they're getting so many things thrown at them on a daily basis of who they should be, what they should do in life. And it's like, no, God made you just perfectly how you are for a reason.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm going to instill that into Roya every
Yeah.
day now, you know, as a multiracial girl.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started trying to, what is that like parenting a biracial boy? I mean, I don't have a son, but we won't get into the details because it's already been a tumultuous 2020. But at the same time, I feel like those messages are still so relevant to little boys.
Oh, yeah. We have this saying, so me and him do it sometimes once a day, sometimes many times a day, but we have we repeat these affirmations that we say, we are strong, we are smart, we are funny, ha ha ha, we are beautiful. And then we say, we are brave. And I just like, for how old he is, it's like, that's what I want. He can understand that, and he can, like, you know, he gets so excited to say I'm strong, and I just want to continue to affirm to him that he is all those things.
Yeah.
And I try not to say like, you should do this or you should do that or you should be this, like even at this young of an age, because I want him to uniquely bloom into who God made him to be. I don't want to be a hindrance. So instead I just affirm him that he's all of these amazing things so that he can be confident.
Anybody else getting goosebumps listening to this? That's beautiful. I'm like, yes, you are like a Wonder Woman in and of itself, but then that on top of it, because there's a lot happening in our world. And then at the same time, I wonder, like, our childhood experiences, like the things that maybe we could have either heard more of or just what we know now, and like filtering that down to our babies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'll ever do pieces with like families? Because you do a lot of women inspired, which I could just go on and on for days. But what about like what other types of artwork?
Yeah, so I do a lot of custom illustrations, and they're usually family oriented. So I do a lot of family focused things in that realm of work with the custom illustrations. That's definitely more of a word of mouth, where people request it just through DMing me or whatever. But I think I will. Honestly, I think I'm just trying to think long term of what I really want. And I think the core of what I want is to share, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. I kind of want to bloom into my unique self and share that the beauty of all that is me with certain items. Maybe it's like, you know, I'm saying that in a sense of like how I design will be maybe a mix of the Middle Eastern, Moroccan, Bohemian style, but maybe it's a little bit more modern as well. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to see like how I'm blooming and how that translates into my creative work and my art. But I'm very passionate about women. I'm very passionate about motherhood. And so I think that will not go away. So I don't know. It depends on how I evolve and where God leads me to be, you know, with my creative ventures. So
All the things, everything, all of the above. Option D, yes, please.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what brought me to the Twin Cities MomSquad, honestly. I mean, when this airs, it'll be far past 2020, but at the same time, it's the most historical year in our lives for so many people. And it was such a blessing in disguise in so many realms for me and my household. But it got me thinking. I did some coaching and some like ridiculous reflection and massive pivoting where I never thought I would, to the point where I rebranded. And I was like, this is more fitting because I'm blooming into this. And if I'm blooming into this, my business has to evolve with me. So I like seeing, especially in the creative world, people like yourself, the artwork and the different translations. Like some people will take one particular piece, like the Zibai girl, and they'll probably have this whole narrative that they're coming up with. And then maybe you have this inspiration. And then so-and-so over here could be going through some trauma and finding peace and tranquility with it. Like artwork is so great.
Yeah.
You have such a storytelling about it. I can't wait to see what you do next, girl.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm so happy to be a part of the Mom Squad. I love this community.
Yes. Okay. So you guys live outside of Minnesota as well. So your work can follow you. I mean, it's a virtual world. So what do you think what do you want next? Like where do you see yourself taking your business or your work in the next couple of years?
Yeah. I have been extremely blessed to be working at a job that allows me to work from anywhere. So that's been super nice. I would say in the time that we've been living in California, since it is 2020, I don't get to see or meet a lot of new people. It's led me to really, I don't know, dive deeper into my creative work and different mediums. So I've been doing a lot of paintings and kind of taking my efforts there, just because it is, like you said, it serves a lot of purposes. It's kind of my way of meditating and just relaxing, but also like learning new things and experimenting. And so I don't know, I think there's something there. There's something brewing there. I'm not quite sure what. I have some ideas, like I mentioned, for this coming year, but I hope to have more original pieces. And then also when things open up again, I really want to start getting back into like the community events. You know, I'm really dreaming of some classes or like how we can mix and match, you know, the celebrating our uniqueness and our cultural differences as like a good thing, mixed with like the art and creativity side. So I don't know, I'm just dreaming things up, and seeing where it goes. I'm just seeing how it can go from here to like on paper.
Oh my gosh. And there's no wrong way. It's just going to be
Yeah.
so interesting how maybe even the path will surprise you along the way. But
Yeah, I'm trying to be really open just because our life has been very we've been in a transition season. We obviously moved from Minnesota to California, so there's just been a lot of back and forth. I'm trying to just like not think too much about it and just let it come to me. It's weird how it may sound.
just no, but I think that's just magical. I think that's where the magic comes from is you can't control it. You just got to let it flow.
Yeah.
Nothing has come easy. Creative world, growing up, even, you know, just the working world, 9 to 5 and all things, even 2020. So just, there's always challenges along the way. What's been one of the biggest challenges in your world? This is such a huge question, but what's been something that's just like knocked you off your feet and you're like, well, that sucked. That
Well,
really kind of got you to think.
definitely, it's without a doubt. Wade lost his best friend this year to COVID. He was 31. I think that just shook us, you know, it's just like unexplainable, the sorrow and just the shock that we continue to feel. I think it makes you question a lot of things, your purpose, like why, what, like it just, I don't know, kind of makes you take a really big step back on like seeing the important things, letting go of the not so important things. But also, you know, you have to, it's takes time to process that. So that's been so challenging. That sucked for sure.
And that just happened. I mean, like within the last several months.
Yeah, in May, all while, you know, we're moving, it's quarantine, so we're in California kind of by ourselves and just, you know, walking this path together, knowing he's not going to be around, you know, we're just trying to navigate that. But, you know, it also helps you see the important things a little more or a lot more. And so it's also been a good reset for us, you know, in that regard.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. There's just, like you said, it's probably just unexplainable. And it's just, grief is such a weird thing. And then any type of, I guess, semi quote unquote silver lining out of any situation turns into something like very purposeful. So you guys are still on that journey. On the flip side of challenges, what's been one of the most like incredible, awesome moments of your life where you're like, I am so proud of me. Like, I can't believe like this incredible thing manifested.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I mentioned, I think looking back on life and seeing how long I let other people kind of dictate my plans or like what I was going to do in my life, I think it impacted me a lot. And so the fact that I look, even though I'm still, I would say at the beginning of my creative ventures and my business, I'm proud of myself for like getting to the point where I was no longer going to let anybody tell me what I was going to do with my life. And I credit a lot to God. I credit a lot to my husband for that. And I'm just proud that even though I'm sure some people look at my art and say, she sucks, I'm proud and that I have the courage to continue to share what I believe are my gifts. And because at one point I wouldn't. At one point I had imposter syndrome. At one point I would compare myself and feel like I was never good enough. You know, I wanted perfection, and I've embraced the imperfections of the journey of creating and being an artist and designer. And that's why I share all of the things that I'm going through and doing as I'm doing it, because I think it's important to be able to look back on how far you've come, and have that pride.
Yes.
I would say like that's, it's just like looking back on life and being like, dang, I'm here. I made it. I'm still living. It's
Great,
like,
girl. Yes. And the different, oh my gosh, and the different roller coasters, right? The good, the bad, the knock me off my feet, the I'm on top of the world moments. And I
yeah,
think there's so much realism behind that I think people really gravitate towards that because they want something real that they can relate to.
yes.
Sometimes the storytelling helps heal or inspire or anything in between.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like think there's, it's like, I kind of like the saying I'm perfectly imperfect, so it's just like, I want people to embrace that, we're all perfectly imperfect, but like, if we put our differences aside or look at our differences as good things, like we can do amazing things together.
Yeah. Okay. My gosh, you're like just pouring into me right now. So I want to just let everybody know that's watching this. How can we support you? What can we do to continue to lift you up or support your business or, cheer you on?
Thanks. Yeah, that's so sweet. I would just say a good start is get to know me. I love meeting new people. I love supporting other people and encouraging other people. So let's meet each other. My Instagram is at Aisha Branch, just my name. And yeah, let's go from there. I would say that's like, in 2020 especially, we all need community, and I think social media has been a great avenue for all of us to stay connected. So yeah, I would love to connect, and if you like something, you can shop.
I'm going to just plug that real quick because it's my job and I can do that. So where can we find your artwork, your textiles, and all the things under your studio to buy or support and share or gift people?
Yeah, you can. I showcase a lot on Instagram. So I kind of do use my Instagram as my personal portfolio. But you can just go to shopaishabranch.com, or I also have my full portfolio at aishabranch.com. So it's really easy. It's just my name. Yeah, you can find a lot of the stuff I'm working on through those websites.
Very good. And I'll have all of those details on the post and the details of this video. That's all the questions I'm going to throw at you today, even though I could sit and chat with you for hours. But before we go, I just have some fun little questions. Generally, I'll do a Hitatalk trivia, but I won't grill you today. I'll just see what you got up your sleeves. Okay. We're going camping. Would you rather go camping in a tent or would you go glamping?
Camping in a tent.
Okay, my girl. There are no wrong answers, by the way, but I have particular preferences.
I grew up camping in a tent every year, 3 times a year. So I want to continue that tradition.
Okay, before I go on to the next question, what's one of your most favorite camping trips you've gone on?
We went up to Dedeguchi. I think that's how you say it, north of Tooth, and it just to die for. I mean, hikes, Lake Superior, North Shore. I mean, it's beautiful.
Okay, Minnesota's North Shore is one of my favorite places in the entire world, aside from La Jolla in California. So
yeah, it's pretty beautiful. Underrated for sure.
Underrated for sure. Are you a beach gal or let's go to Vegas kind of gal?
Beach gal.
Are you gonna go on a cruise or are you gonna go to the beach resort?
Beach resort.
Okay. Spaghetti or pizza?
Oh, that's a hard one. I would say probably pizza.
Pizza or tacos?
Ooh, girl, these are hard. Let's see. Let's go with tacos.
If you had to eat, totally the right answer, by the way. If you had to only pick one thing, this is a horrible question, one thing under the sun to eat every day for the rest of your life, what is that going to be?
Oh, girl, I got to go with Dolmas. That's great, please.
Yes. The Middle Eastern Mediterranean inspired. I was like, is she gonna go with the best advice ever, which is saying tacos, or the homegrown Persian Middle?
I could eat gorma sabzi on a daily, go too. Unfortunately, it takes hours to make. So
the good stuff from scratch for sure. Do you cook a lot of Persian food?
not as much as I'd like, but I'm getting more into it now that my son is there and I want to teach him some things. So.
And you guys are in California, so just your accessibility to things is so much more vast. There's a broader range of it.
Yeah, that was big for me when we moved to California, and I got to see how many Middle Eastern restaurants they were, particularly Iranian cuisine. I was just over the top excited. I order it via DoorDash, like at least once a week.
I feel so seen.
Yeah, my husband always like looks at it like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Heaven in a cup, okay."
Heaven in a cup, and this is on mine, but we can order 2 of DoorDash for you.
Yeah. Oh. Let's not leave that out.
No. Are you like would you prefer wine or coffee?
Oh man. Depends on the time of day.
I know.
I would say probably coffee.
Coffee. I know, horrible questions. Your go-to cocktail?
Oh, definitely like a vodka, like soda with lime. My go-to is like a vodka with a lime Pellegrino and a splash of lime.
Okay, that's it. Mic drop. After this whole madness is done, we're gonna have to go on a girls' night, and then maybe just go on a mom's retreat, have coffee in the morning,
agree.
A cocktail, do a little creative work, throw some yoga in there.
All need it, don't we, man? I'll look into places.
Oh, girl. Well, this was so fun. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your vulnerability and your just creative energy and your beautiful soul. Your family is amazing. I'm so grateful to have you on the squad. And for those of you who are watching us, make sure you follow Hitatalk on YouTube and all the Instagrams and socials. Follow myself and, of course, follow Aisha. All those information details are in the notes. Thank you so much, Aisha.
Thank you. I love that.
You're so welcome. All right. Bye, everybody.